Are you okay? That's a question a lot of people are asking or need to ask following the Givaudan plant explosion. It was the question WDRB's Richard Essex put to a very anxious neighbor of the plant in the moments right after that explosion as she was trying to get to her house. Richard?
Now, take a look at the backside of this plant. The metal, after this explosion, metal flew all over this neighborhood. And in the hours following this explosion, people that lived around this plant were trying to get back to their house. They're trying to get answers. They're trying to find out what has happened to their lives. And in that time, we came across a woman, Hannah Henshaw, as she was trying to get back to her house. You okay?
Not really. I'm really worried about a lot of us, and I know a lot of us have not really ever really liked that factory being there, so I think this kind of goes to show, why.
It was last Tuesday. We found a very anxious Hannah Henshaw pacing the street, waiting to get into her house. She and her husband had found out about the explosion when their security cameras detected motion in the house.
Yeah, I've been getting notifications from my app since then.
She was anxious to get home to her dogs. One of her neighbors was told to shelter in place. Her entire life had been upended.
I'm really concerned for her, myself, and my animals.
It has been 1 week and a day since the explosion, and I have worried about Hannah since talking to her. And we found her at home. First question I asked you the other day was, are you okay? Are you?
Okay, yeah.
The force from the explosion knocked pictures off the wall, toppled glass decorations down the stairs, and scared the living you-know-what out of her 4 dogs.
Oh my God. Wow.
The alarms had been blaring and things were all over the inside of the house. I mean, everything from the walls and the shelves and everything had fallen down, so they were pretty skittish. So the moment we opened the door, they all bolted, and it took us a little bit to get them back in the house, but since then, it's just been I've tried to be here as much as possible.
It is not lost on her that others in the neighborhood and in the plant have had their lives changed forever. A week and a day removed, she and her husband both say this seems very surreal.
Yeah, the day after, actually, he was the first one to say it. He was like, yesterday does not feel real at all. And I was like, no, it doesn't. It was like we went to sleep, we woke up, and it felt like a dream at that point. And just dealing with the people and everybody, and a lot of emotion from so many different people, and then seeing everything on the news.
They have been talking to neighbors, and they have been talking to each other.
I think it's opened up some channels that we haven't talked about before in our marriage and like where we live, and things we haven't considered before, I guess. It's not really to say like a near-death experience, but when you witness or you are around that and you see other people that suffer, and that's the worst part.
Hannah and her husband told me that they spent last weekend at home, just the 2 of them and their 4 dogs. And to answer your question, or the question that I had to her, is she okay? I don't think we're going to get an answer of yes for some time. With photojournalist Brian Manuel, Richard Essex, WDRB News.